My name is Friederike and welcome to the very first episode of Picnic with Picnic. In this series, we will be talking to many different personalities of Picnic, and you will get an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at everything that's going on within Picnic. Today I'll be talking with one of the founders of Picnic about the future and expansion of Picnic. I'm super excited to start, so let's have a picnic with Picnic. Hey Michiel!
How are you doing? You okay?
Fine, and
Yeah.
you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Nice place.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I'm also quite excited to hear the whole journey of Picnic with you
Yeah.
today, and as well also why we're here in Berlin and meeting here. Yeah, I would say let's start and talk a bit about expansion, right? Because you're responsible at Picnic for the whole expansion international.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning. So Picnic started in Amersfoort.
Amersfoort, yeah. By picking Amersfoort as a starting city, we made completely clear from the beginning, this is something for everybody. And that's why we picked Amersfoort.
But now we also deliver in Amsterdam and the bigger cities, right? So
Yeah.
now we actually spread
But
it
only
out
after a
over
while,
the whole
because
Netherlands.
after Amersfoort we went to Utrecht, which is a larger city, then to Almere, which is also a sort of a different city. And by doing that, we also understood where, in which neighborhood, works the concept the best.
Yeah.
And we found out it works everywhere.
But then afterwards, how do you do like an expansion plan? Do you just say like, oh, there it feels like people would want to have it delivered from us? Or like, how do you do that?
Well, the good thing about groceries is an enormous market. So half the spend of any household, free spend, goes to groceries. So after you've paid your rent and your car, etc., the rest of the budget, half of that is going to groceries.
Okay.
And all people do groceries. So in a way, the market is sort of everybody. But on the other hand, we also, of course, thought in the beginning, which are the best families to deliver to, which are the best households.
Yeah.
This is good. Young families with kids that have a higher spend, that also have a busy life. So for them, having groceries delivered at home is an extra benefit. So by doing that and by understanding which type of household works best.
You can actually calculate over a model where we should expand to next.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. But if I think about expansion, for me, I would also think about people and also about maybe parts which are probably not completely, which you can calculate, right? You don't know if you go there, is the culture the same? Also thinking about different countries, or do you not see any risks from like which cannot be calculated?
Of course, I mean, entrepreneurship, starting something up is always a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
And if you don't like that, then probably being an entrepreneur is not going to be the right decision.
Yeah.
No, so but there's a lot of data, of course, around in any city about households, about spend, about proximity to supermarkets, about the, let's say, the density of the households. So we have a system where we drive little milkman rounds.
Yeah.
So people need to live close to each other in order to be able to do it for free. So you need to be super efficient. So if you go to the countryside of countries like Germany or France, then probably our model is not the best. But we really aim for cities, and let's say cities like Berlin, but also the second tier cities. And there are far more second tier cities than, of course, the larger ones.
Okay, and thinking about the whole like milkman model in general, what you've just said, that's super interesting, right? So because that is our whole business model is based on this milkman model, I think.
Yeah.
So how do you normally do that with an expansion? Do you have like a business plan case for each like warehouse hub? So normally our supply chain starts in the warehouses, right?
Yep.
And then we pick everything in the warehouse, we
Yep.
deliver it to the hubs, and from the hubs we actually start the milkman model, right?
Yeah.
So how do you normally like set up something like this, and when do you want that the business plan is?
Yeah, well,
Good
I
again.
think for starting a business like Picnic, you need to do 4 things really well.
Okay.
And
excited.
yeah,
I'm excited.
And part of that is the last mile, the milkman model.
Okay.
But the 4 things are, first of all, you need to have good buying. So the best buying conditions that you can find. Because you need to sell the products to people. If they get too expensive, either your margin is super low or people just don't buy it. So buying is super important for any supermarket, but also for us. Second point is fulfillment.
Okay.
So putting the products in the baskets of customers every day for a lot of customers. So you need to be super efficient, and we can talk about that a bit later.
Yeah.
Thirdly, the last mile. So the milkman model. That's also a very important element because it is super expensive if you do it not very efficiently. And we have built this model of a milkman where we are super efficient in terms of providing people and households with their groceries at the door. And the last point is, let's say, the marketing, the proposition. Is it attractive enough?
Yeah.
But can you also explain to people why it works really well for them? So if you have those 4 elements in place, then you have a very good chance of getting there.
Okay, and that's what we actually did, right?
That's exactly what we're doing.
You were mentioning those 4 different points which are super important that the whole model is working out.
Yeah.
Could you just copy-paste them from the Netherlands to Germany and also to France, to the different countries, or are there in general differences?
No, of course, if you look at the 4 building blocks, they're the same in any country where you would start. The details of that are, of course, completely different. If you look at buying, what you buy in Holland and France and Germany is for, let's say, for 70% the same, but 30% is local products. So you need to really understand the market, what do people buy, what brands do they like, what's the price point, and so that's super complicated if you look under the hood. But the building blocks itself are the same.
And if we're thinking now about, okay, we started in NRW, in Neuss, I think?
Neuss,
Am I correct?
City of Neuss, let's make some noise. That was the internal slogan.
Michiel, super nice, How do you start? Like, how do you get the best supplier or...
Well, that's a very simple thing to do because what you do and what we always have been doing at Picnic, we built the brand and the whole model together with our customers.
Okay.
So in all 3 countries we had a launch phase where we were sort of in the pilot situation. And in that pilot phase what we do is we say, okay, let's forget about all the nice marketing stuff. So don't make it look super nice, really focus on the positioning of what you offer to the customer exactly.
Okay.
So make it very, let's say, simple for people to understand. Or you get all these questions like, do you also sell frozen pizzas? So by doing that, by really working together with the customer in the first phase, in the launching phase, then you get a real good grip of the local markets. We as Picnic, the team, together with our customers, they can also decide, let's put a super local product that only exists in Krefeld or the Mönchengladbach in our store. Yeah,
different suppliers in different countries. Does that also mean that thinking about different Bundesländer, that we also have from the different suppliers maybe different local products?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, we already have the currywurst, but of course we have local products from North Rhine-Westphalia. But does Germany or Berlin have any local products?
Actually, we do, and we also have something prepared for you. So be excited. We have the so-called Berliner or Berliner Pfannkuchen.
Look at that, Frederique. That's fantastic.
That's super nice, right? Thanks a lot.
Berliner was?
Pfannkuchen, or sometimes also called Krapfen.
Krapfen.
So, have you ever tried something like this before?
Never ever.
Then we're going to test it now.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you as well. There are 2, so please take them and...
I do it like this, otherwise this will be the end of the interview.
Do you like them? They are with marmalade.
Fantastic. German cuisine.
It's super good. Will we have them also in our store then?
Of course.
Yeah?
If it's really typical.
It is typical.
And if we can find the best bakery in Berlin that can supply them to us.
So people can now come to us and say like, we're the best bakery. Please be
totally.
Please be yours.
We have super nice products in all the cities where we are, from local producers. We have our local milk, our local eggs, our local cheesemonger. So it's super nice to have really nice local products, and people love it.
Nice.
Yeah, and it also saves a lot of food miles. So we started from scratch. We started with a white piece of paper. So of course we knew from the beginning we need to be super sustainable. So we have 100% electrical fleet, the largest electrical fleet for groceries in Europe. We have nearly no food waste because we only order when customers have already ordered with us. So we throw nothing away. But we have all sorts of things, and local products are part of that. And also the milkman model, which requires so few movements of the vehicle because it's so efficient, and it also takes away consumers driving with their car to the supermarket. So there are many, let's say, elements within Picnic that make it also a very sustainable business.
If you think about the Centra team, like how does that work that you get the right people to start like a new Picnic in a new country and that you have the same people with the same drive, the same culture? How do you decide for those people?
That's interesting. You need entrepreneurial people. You need people that like complexity. that also like to solve complexity so they can move on to the next stage, because that's something that we've learned over time. If you do something for the first time, super complex.
Of course.
Very difficult to do, a lot of headache.
Yeah.
The second time you say, those two things I already remember for the first time, it's going to be easy. Third time, it's sort of okay. And that is sort of the way that we'd like to go forward, because we have so many challenges and so many opportunities ahead of us.
Yeah.
We need the people that want to solve those complexities and move on to the next one. Expansion is very close to entrepreneurship, and because you're sort of entering new territories.
Yeah.
You're finding out new stuff. You are seeing other things that you've never seen before. So that's by far a really fun part for any entrepreneur. The point is that as soon as you go to another country, the really fun part and the really fun question is, will we make it happen in that new country? And now we are in Holland, Germany, and France. It doesn't mean that everybody knows us. So you're really sort of launching a new company when you move to a new country.
Do you consider Picnic as a tech company?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, in all central teams there is a lot of tech going on. Also our analysts are really using all the tech that we have in terms of doing their own analysis. And in Amsterdam we have about 500 people, developers in the team, because we sort of make everything ourselves. So all the software, the app, we even made our own vehicle. So you need quite a lot of people. And the other thing is that we can, when you make your own software, you can every day improve just a small bit.
Yeah.
And maybe on a very tiny part of the model, but doing that with so many people, at the end of the year, you're twice as good.
I think you can say also now why we're here in Berlin. Maybe you can reveal that a bit.
Complete coincidence.
Like, why are we here, Michiel?
So we started in North Rhine-Westphalen.
Yeah.
With Düsseldorf, where our central team is, and then we did all those cities across North Rhine-Westphalen. Why North Rhine-Westphalen? Because it's super close to Holland. It makes it a bit practical. It's also very dense.
Yeah.
So a lot of cities, smaller cities and larger cities close to each other.
Yeah.
So perfect for a model.
Yeah.
But now indeed we are expanding to other cities and other areas in Germany.
Yeah.
So Berlin and Hamburg and Frankfurt and München. So there is a lot to be won, because in Germany the penetration of online is still super small.
Yeah.
It's 1-2%
Oh, wow.
of all the groceries are sold online, meaning 98%
For us, right?
still there, still out there. So that's something that is an enormous opportunity for us.
7 years with Picnic, operating with Picnic.
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge you ever had?
Oh wow, the biggest challenge I think it would be customer number one.
Customer number one?
Happy,
Who was customer
happy
number
customer
one?
one. Yes, the customer number we know.
Yes.
we know, we see it. It's a lady, and after a couple of years she moved outside the delivery area.
Okay.
And then last year we sort of also went to that city, and then she was in the delivery area
that's
again.
cool.
Yeah. So the biggest challenge is keeping really the quality up, keeping super good contact with your customers. Although you're growing, every customer needs to feel that they are sort of very valued, that we listen to them, and we do.
Yeah.
But that is so important to stay in touch with your market and with your consumers, in order to grow, to become better, to become smarter, better products, better services. So everything is down to, can I still understand my customers? Can I still deliver the fantastic service while growing?
Yeah, that's super exciting. And now we were talking about the whole Germany, and that we're also delivering in France.
Yeah.
What comes next?
Next is, there are I think 186 countries in the world.
Okay, so we're going to take over the whole world.
Absolutely, totally. A global domination, that is our our end goal. That's our end goal.
Sounds interesting.
No, I mean, I think the desire for families to save money and time is universal.
Yeah.
So this could work in any country, because we don't need rich families, because we have a model that's for everybody. So we really have a mass market model.
Yeah.
We don't need super interesting infrastructure locally, because we build everything ourselves, the fulfillment centers and the hubs and the vehicles. So we can really use our model and put it somewhere.
Yeah.
And of course it's a lot of work, but it's not like we don't need so many requirements from a market to start there.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. But now when I see the 3 different countries, we're focusing a bit on Europe, I would say. Now that. So if I think about it now, I could also imagine that it could be interesting, or for people from outside that they think it could be interesting for us to also expand to the US, or?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the US, there are many countries in Europe that are interesting. You have large countries in Europe as well. So yes, there's still a lot of potential. But there's also a lot of potential in the countries where we are. Eh? So in Germany, we now sort of provide 5% of all the households in Germany can buy with Picnic.
Yeah.
And we need to grow that to 50%. Like in France, it's also very small, and we need to go to 50. In Holland, we're a bit further.
Okay.
We're now at 60-ish.
Okay.
And we can still grow to 75%. But then you get into the countryside where just people live too far apart to make it.
And those we will never reach, or?
Nah, it's not for our model, because if you look at all those countries, now France not yet because we're still starting up. But if you look at the fulfillment centers, that's really, let's say, on capacity.
Yeah.
So where enough orders are coming through, with cities that are sort of 2 years old.
Yeah.
That combination is profitable.
Cool.
And that's of course also a very important element for investors.
Yeah, of course.
To decide whether this is a model that they would like to invest in.
Big achievement also though, right? Like to get profitable.
It is, especially if you have the, let's say, the no delivery fees. It's super important.
So how did you like the Berliners actually?
Quite good.
Quite good?
Quite good. I think I will take a couple of them home.
Still hungry, or?
I'm still hungry, but it was quite good.
Hey. I still have something
What's that,
here. Those are actually from Picnic. Some nice crackers.
Yeah,
I have to say.
This is a very good example of our beautiful private label.
I've never tried it.
Oh, you should.
Shall we?
You should. Yes, of course. Here we go.
Now I also
is
want
that
to see
is that a product
really,
that the Germans also eat, or is that?
I don't know. I don't even know what it actually is. Thanks.
This is fantastic for. You can eat every day. And
it really is nice.
Yeah.
It's something you can eat when you are playing like games with your family.
Kaaskoekjes.
It's good.
Nice. Private label.
Thanks a lot for the tour. Super happy.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
It's really cool. Yeah.